processes for drafting the ASEAN Charter in its last stage. The next duty was the drafting the ASEAN Charter, which fell to the high-level task force on the drafting of the ASEAN Charter, established by the Kuala Lumpur Declaration of 2005.
Now, as to my role, well, since the chairmanship of ASEAN last year was in the hands of the Philippines from January to July, I was made to chair the negotiations of the charter from in that period. And when we turned over the chairmanship of ASEAN to Singapore, it was my co-chairman, colleague, Ambassador Tomiko of Singapore, who completed the negotiations as the chair of ASEAN up to November of last year.
Ambassador Rosalo Manalo from the Philippines, chairperson for the high-level task force on the drafting of the ASEAN Charter, called 11 meetings in various places in ASEAN, including New York, and consulted with various organizations and representatives 7 more times throughout the year 2007.
It was really controversial. It was a difficult issue. And that was the enabling provision relating to the establishment of a human rights body in ASEAN. Just getting to that point of doing the phrase, which appears now in the draft of the draft charter, we had to carry internal exercises among the 10 negotiators, already preliminarily on what ideas do we have about the human rights body. And it took almost a day and a half in one meeting, and another almost 1 day in another meeting. But at the end of all these negotiations on this enabling provision, we came to realize that our mandate was not really definitely to define the ASEAN human rights body, but to provide the foreign ministers, the heads of states through the foreign ministers with a completed draft of a charter. The charter goes much, much more than just the provision for a human rights body. So once we got that phrase, that enabling provision, then we proceeded and did not touch any more than just that provision to complete the charter, because otherwise we would not have met the instructions of the heads of states. Now, that was the most difficult for obvious reasons, but somehow we got it. It is there.
The Thai Legal Council joined the parliamentary meetings in 2007 to discuss the ASEAN Charter in detail before approval as demanded in Constitution, in order for the Thai government, with the Prime Minister as representative, to sign the ASEAN Charter.
Good morning, welcome. Hope you had a good rest last night. Yes. Staying close.
Thank you, Excellencies.
The most important thing is the ASEAN Charter. We've come a long way, 40 years. We've negotiated the Charter. We have a text which has been worked out very quickly since January, when we had the eminent person's report. It's a good document. It expresses our aspiration and what we aim to be as an organization. And it's really a signal of the seriousness of purpose of ASEAN, that you will have institutions, that you will have rules, that you will have implementation, follow-up, accountability, and proper decision-making processes. And we now have a charter. The charter now has to be ratified and implemented.
การที่ได้มีโอกาสไปลงนามในกฎบัตรอาเซียนที่สิงคโปร์ก็เมื่อช่วงเดือนพฤศจิกายนนะครับปี2550นั้นก็เป็นส่วนสำคัญสิ่งที่ น่ายินดีเนี่ยก็คือว่าทางสมาชิกของประเทศอาเซียนเองได้มีการตั้งคณะองค์บุคคลซึ่งถือว่าเป็นคณะองค์บุคคลที่มีความรู้ความสามารถในการยกร่างกฎบัตรอาเซียนนี้ขึ้นมาและนั่นก็เป็นเรื่องที่เราได้ดำเนินการอย่างต่อเนื่องผมเองเข้ามาร่วมในช่วงหัวเรียวหัวต่อตรงนี้พอดีก็ได้เห็นทั้งการดูรายละเอียดในส่วนของกฎบัตรอาเซียนที่ฟิลิปปินส์ว่ามันยังมีอะไรบ้างที่ควรจะทำให้เกิดความเรียบร้อยก่อนที่จะไปลงนามที่สิงคโปร์นะครับเมื่อไปที่สิงคโปร์แล้วเนี่ยก็เป็นเรื่องของการลงนามอย่างเป็นทางการ
But if you look at the new charter that is now before Parliament, as I say, or before ratification by the ASEAN, I think it is a very important step forward, despite that it still has many shortcomings. It still did not agree on many things that we proposed, but they were not rejected. They were kept vague or they were kept general. And so I'm very much in favor of going by stages. I'm very much in favor of ratifying this charter so that we have now for the first time in 40 years a legally based organization and not a loose association, a legally based, an organizational structure that is better equipped to meet the challenges as well as the opportunities of the next period, because we are facing a lot of new challenges and new opportunities in East Asia.
Then it was a process of ratification by the parliaments of each country.
See the signed ASEAN Charter, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong.
We said that we want to ratify it in time for the next ASEAN meeting, which is going to be in Bangkok, so that we can have a ceremony in the palace in Bangkok where ASEAN was launched 40 years ago. I think that's a target. I think some of the countries may have to work to hit that target because their ratification process depends on the legislatures, and some of the legislatures do not always ratify everything which the executive puts before them. I think Mrs. Arroyo has already said that she may have difficulties, and there may be one or two others, but I think we should work for that.
Thailand submitted the instrument of ratification to the ASEAN Secretary General on the 14th of November 2008.
เป็นที่น่ายินดีนะครับว่าได้มีการให้สัตยาบันกับกฎบัตรอาเซียนครบแล้วทั้ง10ประเทศและไทยก็เป็นประเทศสุดท้ายที่ได้ให้สัตยาบันเนื่องด้วยปัญหาภายในของเราเองขณะนี้ก็ถือว่าเราได้ให้สัตยาบันกันครบก็มีผลใช้บังคับตั้งแต่วันที่15ธันวาคมที่ผ่านมานี้40กว่าปีของอาเซียนเรามาถึงจุดนี้ซึ่งเป็นจุดที่แสดงถึงความร่วมมือร่วมใจแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นที่จะผลักดันกลุ่มประเทศอาเซียนให้ก้าวไปข้างหน้าด้วยความมั่นคงมากยิ่งขึ้นครับ
มี10ประเทศนะแต่ประเทศที่เหลืออยู่3ประเทศนะยังไม่ได้ส่งคำยืนยันสัตยาบันสุดท้ายคือประเทศไทย ผมก็เอาเลยเราเป็นประธานไม่เป็นไรผมบอกเราเป็นประธานเนี่ยเราส่งแน่นอนอยู่แล้วเพราะเราต้องมีหน้าที่ในการจัดประชุม
The 15th of December 2008, a historic day for ASEAN.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now play the ASEAN anthem called the ASEAN Way.
The ASEAN Way, the ASEAN anthem, composed by a Thai, was played for the first time in Jakarta.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to the ASEAN Secretariat.
The Charter can be the basis for speeding up and strengthening our regional integrations. By virtue of its provisions, we can enhance the process by which we are transforming ASEAN from a loose association to an ASEAN community, resting on the pillars political security cooperation, economic cooperation, and socio-cultural cooperation. It also provides for ASEAN elevation into a rules-based and people-centered organization with a legal personality.
The President of Indonesia presided over the ceremony and gave a speech on the occasion of the celebrations of the coming into force of the ASEAN Charter on Monday, 15th of December 2008. The meeting to celebrate the ASEAN Charter was moved from Chiang Mai to the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta and was changed to a special foreign ministry-level meeting. Thailand, however, did not have a foreign minister who attended the meeting. Mr. Mun Patanotai, Minister for the Information, Technology and Communication Ministry, represented the Royal Thai government. With a hasty schedule, foreign ministers from 7 countries met for the occasion: Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, and Vietnam. Laos sent the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. Cambodia sent a senior official.
I think ASEAN is on the right track because we are now in a globalized world where globalization is really at a full swing. So for the member states of ASEAN, it's important that we have to be very active as one, as a community. And that's why it's so important for us to work in the way we're now working on, particularly with the entry into force of the ASEAN Charter today. I think this is quite important because from now on, we have to look at how ASEAN will appear on the international stage.
Capacity as representative.
The meeting expressed understanding at Thailand's postponement of the 14th summit meeting and unanimously supported Thailand as the chairman and to organize the summit meeting before February 2009.
With the people of the world entire. This is a historic mission of ASEAN in which ASEAN needs all the support it can get from all of you present here and beyond. According to Article 47, Paragraph 4 of the ASEAN Charter, it states that this charter shall enter into force on the 30th day following the date of deposit of the 10th instrument of ratification with the Secretary General of ASEAN. Therefore, the ASEAN Charter enters into force today, the 15th of December 2008.
The meeting also celebrated the coming into force of the ASEAN Charter on the 15th of December 2008. The meeting also reaffirmed the dedication of the member states to strictly adhere to the terms of the ASEAN Charter. There were discussions as to the new governing bodies to be established according to the ASEAN Charter, that is, the Committee Permanent Representatives to ASEAN ASEAN Coordinating Council, the ASEAN Political Security Community Council, the ASEAN Economic Community Council, and the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Council. The Foreign Ministers' meeting also discussed other issues related to the ASEAN Charter, such as budget, restructure of the ASEAN Secretariat, and appointment of 2 more deputy secretary positions through a special selection process.
Because the Charter has entered into force, they have transformed themselves into the first coordinating council of ASEAN. And according to the Charter, they shall meet at least twice a year. They shall look into the agenda of the summit. They shall coordinate with the other 3 community councils: Political and Security Council, Economic Council, Socio-Cultural Council. So this morning became their first coordinating council under the Charter.
This special meeting to celebrate the coming into force of the ASEAN Charter was organized by Thailand, including all agendas, documents, and media to be presented in the meeting. The ASEAN Secretariat hosted the meeting and provided the facilities and supporting staff, together with personnel from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand and the Royal Thai Embassy at Jakarta. The Indonesian television network provided live broadcasting.
ที่ผ่านมา40 ปีก็เป็นเรื่องการร่วมมือด้วยความสมัครใจนะครับแล้วก็ช่วยกันสร้างบ้านแต่ณวันนี้เราบอกว่าเราจะมีแบบแผนบ้านแล้วคือไอ้ตัวกฎบัตรอาเซียนแล้วก็บอกไว้แน่ชัดว่าเราจะทำให้สมาคมอาเซียนเป็นประชาคมของเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้เหมือนกับดังที่สหภาพยุโรปเขาสามารถที่จะทำได้หรือว่าการร่วมมือภูมิภาคในเขตอื่นๆจะเป็นที่ลาตินอเมริกาที่แอฟริกาหรือตะวันออกกลางก็ตามนะนอกจากนั้นแล้วเนี่ยเราก็จะในกฎบัตรนี่ก็จะบอกว่าเราจะต้องทำอะไรบ้างนะครับนอกเหนือจากการสร้างประชาคมที่จะมี3ประชาคมทางด้านการเมืองทางด้านเศรษฐกิจทางด้านสังคมวัฒนธรรมแล้วเนี่ยมันก็มีสิ่งสำคัญที่สำคัญมากอันหนึ่งก็คือการที่จะให้มีองค์กรที่จะเกี่ยวกับการส่งเสริมสิทธิมนุษยชน
This is the ASEAN Charter. English version that all ASEAN people can download for free from the ASEAN Secretariat website. Each member state can also find the ASEAN Charter translated into their native language from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in each country. This is the Thai version side by side with the English, distributed free from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in both book form or as information to download from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website. The ASEAN Charter sets out the philosophy, vision, legal framework, rules of law, and administrative approaches at all levels of work and at every territory of all ASEAN member states, all governments, all offices of any managerial personnel and governmental organizations, private sectors, civil societies, and all the people who constitute the ASEAN community, one community.
เพราะฉะนั้นเรื่องที่ประชาชนจะเข้ามามีส่วนร่วมเนี่ยในความเป็นไปในทิศทางของอาเซียนเป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญมากเพราะว่า40 ปีที่ผ่านมาก็จะมีความรู้สึกและก็เป็นความจริง